They say the devil doesn't come with horns and a tail. He comes wearing a designer suit, smiling like family, offering you everything you ever lost in exchange for your soul. Mateo Reyes had exactly 24 hours. 24 hours before his grandmother Sophia would die. The snow fell heavier on Geneva, turning the city into a silent white prison. The half-ledger drive felt like lead in his pocket. He had jumped from a cliff into freezing water, run from bullets, and still Patricia Holloway was one step ahead. She had known they were coming. She had always known. And now the trap was closing. The car tore through the empty streets at 3 a.m. Mateo sat in the passenger seat, clothes still dripping from the lake, teeth chattering from the cold. Every breath hurt. Every second felt like sand slipping through his fingers. Isabella gripped the wheel tightly, eyes scanning every mirror. The safe house is compromised. Patricia will have people at every airport, every border crossing. We are ghosts now. Mateo stared at his phone. The last video still played in his head. Sophia tied to a chair, eyes full of fear, but refusing to break. A gun pressed to her temple. He spoke through clenched teeth. Then we stop being ghosts. We become the ones who hunt her. They slipped into the old city and descended into a hidden basement beneath an ancient bookstore. An old man known only as the Archivist waited under dim yellow light. He studied the partial ledger on the drive and let out a long, tired sigh. This is worse than you think. Patricia is not just selling paintings. She is selling your family's entire legacy as NFTs. Every buyer owns a piece of your bloodline. She is erasing your history while getting rich from it. The archivist placed an old photograph on the table. 2 young girls laughing. Sophia and Patricia. Blood feud, the most dangerous kind. She doesn't just want money. She wants your entire line to disappear forever. He leaned forward, voice dropping. But there is a way. The complete master ledger is stored on a private server in Zurich, heavily guarded, almost impossible, unless you have someone on the inside who hates her as much as you do. Mateo's eyes sharpened. Who? The archivist smiled faintly. Someone who used to be family. Zurich just before dawn. The city slept under fresh snow. In a quiet cafe by the lake, Alina waited. Patricia's estranged sister. Her face carried years of bitterness and pain. She spoke without greeting. I can get you inside the server. I still have access codes she doesn't know about. But I have one condition. Mateo leaned in. Name it. Alina's voice turned to ice. After you take the ledger, you help me destroy her. Not just the paintings, her entire empire, her name, her power, everything she built. I want her to feel what she made others feel. Isabella shot Mateo a warning glance. This was another devil, but Mateo had no choice left. He extended his hand. Deal. Alina shook it, her grip cold and firm. Then we move at midnight. remember, Mateo, once you enter her world, very few people come out alive. Midnight. The Zurich Data Center rose like a black tomb against the falling snow. Alina's codes worked for the outer layers, but each door felt heavier, each corridor longer. Inside, rows of servers glowed blue in the darkness. Mateo plugged in the device. The full master ledger began downloading. The progress bar moved with agonizing slowness. 10%, 27%, 51%. Mateo's heart pounded louder than the humming servers. Sweat ran down his back, despite the freezing air. Then the first alarm screamed. Red lights flooded the room. Gunfire exploded somewhere above them. "Run," Alina shouted over the comms. They were waiting. They sprinted through the narrow server aisles. Bullets ricocheted off metal racks. Sparks flew. One guard appeared. Isabella dropped him with 2 precise shots. Mateo's eyes stayed glued to the progress bar. 89%, 94%, 100%. He ripped the drive free. They burst out of an emergency exit into the blizzard. A black SUV waited in the snow, headlights cutting through the whiteout. Patricia stepped out slowly, elegant and completely calm, surrounded by armed men. "Mateo," she called, her voice carrying clearly through the falling snow. "Did you really think you could outsmart me?" She raised her phone. On the screen, Sophia sat bound to a chair. A man in black pressed a gun firmly against her temple. A digital timer counted down from 10 minutes. 10 minutes, Patricia said, almost gently. "Bring me the real ledger right now, or watch your grandmother die live on the internet." Family is everything, Mateo, until it is. The snow fell thicker between them. Mateo stood frozen, the drive heavy in his frozen hand. Isabella raised her weapon. Alina stepped out from the shadows, gun already aimed at Patricia's head. Everything, every life, every painting, every future balanced on the edge of a single bullet.